They laughed at her, not just a chuckle, full-on can't-breathe laughter, because all she inherited in was a worthless shack. But what they didn't know? That shack was about to ruin all of them. The will reading happened in Uncle Richard's giant library. You know the type: polished wood, expensive silence, and just enough arrogance in the air to make you uncomfortable. Outside the window, a beautiful valley, and somewhere down there, barely visible through the trees, sat Grandma Rose's old cabin. The same cabin everyone in the family called junk. The lawyer adjusted his glasses and started reading. To my son Richard, I leave my collection of first edition books and the mahogany desk. Uncle Richard smirked. Of course he did. Next. To my daughter Patricia, my jewelry and the contents of my safety deposit box. Aunt Patricia touched her necklace like she'd already won. Then, to my son Michael, my investment portfolio and classic cars. Emma's father nodded, satisfied. Everything was going exactly as expected. And then, the lawyer paused, just for a second. His eyes lifted and landed on Emma. To my granddaughter, Emma, I leave the cabin on Deer Creek Trail, and everything inside it. Silence. 3 seconds, that's all it took, before the room exploded. Laughter, loud. Ugly, relentless. The shack? Bradley nearly choked laughing. That termite buffet? I hope you like outhouses, Melissa added, wiping tears from her eyes. Even Uncle Richard couldn't hold it in. Oh, Emma, all those summers you wasted there, and that's what you get? Emma didn't say a word. She just sat there, hands folded, quiet. Because while they were laughing, she was remembering. Long summer days. Grandma teaching her how to find edible mushrooms. How to read the land like it was alive. Telling stories about how she and Grandpa bought that land decades ago for almost nothing. Back when nobody cared about it. Maybe she can rent it out, Aunt Patricia said fake sweetly. Though who would even stay there? No electricity, no signal. Probably falling apart, her father added. That one hurt. He didn't even look at her. Emma stood up, calm. I think I'll go see it this weekend. And just like that, another wave of laughter hit the room. Bring a tent, in case it collapses. Don't forget bug spray. Emma didn't respond. She just picked up her bag and walked out. Behind her, they had already moved on. Dividing the real inheritance, arguing over china sets, cars, money. Like the cabin didn't matter, like she didn't matter. The drive took 2 hours. The road got worse the further she went. Pavement turned to dirt, dirt turned to rocks. But finally, she made it. And there it was, the cabin. Exactly how she remembered it. Small, quiet, but strong, not broken. Not useless, just forgotten. She stepped onto the porch. It creaked but held. Inside, everything was clean. Neat, like Grandma had just stepped out for a walk. And then she saw it. An envelope sitting on the table, with her name on it. Emma, her heart started racing. Slowly, she opened it. My dearest Emma. The letter was short, but every word felt heavy. Grandma knew. She knew they'd laugh. She knew they wouldn't understand. You're the only one who ever loved this land the way I do. Emma swallowed hard. Then she read the next line. In the bedroom closet, behind the winter coats, you'll find a metal box. Her hands froze. Everything you need is inside. And then, one final line. The truth isn't always what people assume it is. Emma slowly looked toward the bedroom. Something didn't feel right anymore. Something felt bigger, much bigger. And suddenly, that worthless shack didn't feel so worthless anymore.
Emma did not rush, that was the strange part. Most people would have run straight to the closet, pulling everything apart in seconds. But not Emma. She walked slowly, carefully, as if the cabin itself was watching her. The bedroom door creaked open. Everything looked the same bed. The same faded curtains, the same silent room, nothing had changed. And yet, everything felt different. She walked toward the closet, slowly reached inside, and pushed aside the heavy winter coats. Then she stopped. There it was. A small metal box, old, scratched, but strong. Her hands trembled as she pulled it out. Okay, she whispered. Let's see what you left me, Grandma. The lock clicked open. Inside the box, there was no money, no jewelry. Only envelopes of plain, neatly organized, clearly labeled. Her heart sank for a moment. Seriously, she muttered. But then she opened the first envelope, and everything changed. Inside was a map, all dated 1952. Emma carefully unfolded it. At first, it looked like a simple land survey. But then she traced the boundary lines. Her eyes suddenly froze. Wait! The lines did not stop near the cabin. They kept going, further and further and further. Emma sat down heavily on the edge of the bed. Her heart started beating faster. This can't be right. She quickly grabbed the next envelope. Inside it, the original deed, stamped, signed, official. Her name was not on it, but her grandmother's name was, and the land description matched the map perfectly. She opened the third envelope. Mineral rights at the fourth, timber rights. Her breathing became heavier. This was not just land. This was valuable land. Then she opened the fifth envelope. Aerial photographs. Different years, different decades. Emma spread them across the bed. And then she saw it. The change, slow but clear. Buildings appearing, roads cutting through forests, developments expanding, and all of it inside those same boundary lines. Her stomach dropped. No way. She grabbed the most recent photo, zoomed in, and there it was. Clear as day, Uncle Richard's house, right in the center of it. Her heart started pounding loudly. She flipped to another photo. Vacation homes. Another one, a ski resort. And then the outlet mall. She whispered, her hands began shaking. This is not possible. But it was real, every document, every map, every receipt. It all proved the same thing. Her grandmother did not just own a cabin. She owned the entire mountain. Emma did not sleep that night or the next. She spent the entire weekend going through everything, checking, comparing, taking notes, and one truth became very clear. Her grandmother knew everything. Every inch of land, every building, every person, every lie, but she never told anyone. Not once. Why? Emma did not understand yet. But she knew one thing. This was not a mistake. This was planned. On Sunday evening, Emma made a call. I need a full property survey, she said. There was silence on the other end. How big is the land? Emma looked at the map again. About 2,000 acres. Another pause. Ma'am, that is a very large job. I know. When was the last survey done? Emma swallowed. 1952. A low whistle came through the phone. You definitely need an update. A lot changes in 70 years. Emma looked outside the window, at the quiet trees, at the land everyone ignored. I think it already has. 2 weeks later, the survey team arrived. They brought equipment, flags, GPS devices, serious professionals. Emma gave them copies of all the documents. The lead surveyor started reading, then suddenly stopped. Where did you get these? He asked. My grandmother. He slowly shook his head. If this is correct, he looked toward the mountains. You may own much more than you think. Emma felt her chest tighten. How long will it take? A week. The longest week of her life. Emma stayed at the cabin. She fixed small things, watered the garden, checked the tomatoes her grandmother planted. Meanwhile, her phone kept buzzing. Messages from family mocking her. Still living in that dump? Ready to sell it? Need help tearing it down? Emma ignored all of them, because deep down, she already knew. They had no idea what was coming. Friday morning, her phone rang. It was the surveyor. His voice sounded different. Emma, you need to come outside. Her heart skipped. Why? There was a pause. You need to see this. Emma inherited her grandmother's cabin, but a land survey revealed a shocking truth. She didn't just own a small plot. She owned over 2,300 acres. Worse, her relatives' expensive homes, a ski resort, and even a mall were all built on her land. Legally, they were trespassers. At a family meeting, the same relatives who had mocked her inheritance were left speechless as she presented the maps. They threatened lawsuits, but her grandmother had been meticulous, paying taxes every year, blocking any claim they could make. The land was undeniably hers. Emma gave them a choice: buy the legal rights within 30 days or leave. After years of being underestimated, she held all the power. They paid. She offered them fair deals, not out of weakness but strength. Now, if your own family treated you like that, and you suddenly had all the power, would you forgive them or make them pay?